where you already have FRSC, you have LASMA, you have traffic warden, then you have VIO. So, and then even you have the police who check some papers who are already on the road checking. They even tell you that your particulars or something, or even talk about vehicle. So what exactly, help us understand, help us break them down into bits and pieces, and then differentiate these departments.
Now to start with, have you ever heard that police signed a driver's license? It's the responsibility of the Directorate of Road Traffic Service to issue a driver's license. That authority behind it that authenticate that this is genuine, you are certified to be on the road, is the responsibility, not even the Yusuf. You can't do it.
So we'll start today's conversation taking our quote from William J. Mitchell, an Australian-born author, educator, architect, and urban designer. He once said, "There is no magical solution because urban traffic congestion arises from the fact that a lot of people want to be in the same place at the same time often." All right, then let's take our second quote, and this one is from George Carlin, an American comedian, actor, author, and social critic, regarded as one of the most important and influential stand-up comedians of all time. He once said, "Have you ever noticed that anybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone going faster than you is a maniac?" Okay, this looks like the kind of things that you hear from some drivers, some Nigerian drivers. Okay, I didn't say all, some of them. All right, let's take our last quote from Jackie Holland, an actress. She once said, "One of my favorite activities is just to drive and listen to music. Of course, only when there is no traffic." All right, sounds very interesting. Let's see how all of this relates to what we will be discussing today. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Now, many Nigerians ask questions about the duties of the men in black and white uniform on the yellow or yellow and black patrol vehicles. They are called VIO, that's Vehicle Inspection Officers, and they work with VIS, that's Vehicle Inspection Service, which is a directorate under the Ministry of Transportation. Now, some of their duties are the inspection and insurance of roadworthiness certificate, that's RWC, to all vehicles, maintenance of sanity on our various roads and highways by ensuring that all vehicles plying such roads are roadworthy at all time. They also engage in training and testing of drivers for driver's license and a host of other things which we'll get to find out later on the show. Now, the duties of the Nigerian Police Force: Traffic Warden, Federal Road Safety Commission, that's FRSC, Vehicle Inspection Officers, that's the VIO, which are aimed to work for the interest of the public, are becoming equivocal as some residents in Abuja and some other parts of the country have begun to feel nauseous about the ways and manners they carry out their duties. Some of these residents complain that they have become a thorn in their flesh as to how they keep slamming on them when they drive around the city, either as private vehicle owners or as commercial drivers. Well, like I said earlier on the show today, we will be speaking with Dr. Yusuf Suberu, who is the National Coordinator, VIO Mayors. And I'm positive that after the next 60 minutes, you should be able to understand the duties, the functions of the VIO inspection, the Vehicle Inspection Officer, and other road traffic management officers, and also know your rights and duties as a road user. But that's in a moment. Do join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. So if you just joined us, you're right on time for the conversation. As we have our guest is here in the studio. He is Dr. Yusuf Suberu. He is the National Coordinator of VIO Mayors. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
All right, now let's get started. First of all, let's scratch the surface by understanding who exactly is a VIO and what are the main duties.
Okay, then if you ask that question, I would reframe it for you and said, who is the VIO mayors?
Oh, are they like two different things?
They are actually a little bit different.
Okay.
And they're under the same umbrella, but a bit different because the line of duty is different.
Aha, okay, okay.
A VIO mayor is a VIO marshal.
Okay.
This is the voluntary arm of the VIO. But we don't actually said VIO, we said road traffic.
Okay.
VIO, I'll answer a question that you may want to ask me in the future, but in the cost of what I'm saying now, I'll answer the question. Now, VIO, Vehicle Inspection Officers, they are department under Directorate of Road Traffic.
Okay, okay.
So they are department. Those ones are stationaries where you take your vehicle to be inspected to be sure that your tires are okay, your lights are okay, your engines are okay, everything is okay for you to be on the road.
Aha, okay. So they're not the VIOs you see on the road.
The VIOs you see on the road has department. If you see some of them, you see road traffic is there.
Okay.
Then the road traffic is the road traffic officer. The VIO is a department, is Vehicle Inspection Officer. Those ones are not the ones you see on the road.
Okay.
The ones that inspect your car are called VIO.
Okay.
Under the directorate. There is road traffic still under. Those are the ones you see on the road.
So you are VIO
Mayors. We are the...
You're not on the road.
We are majorly on the road. Our job starts on the road and end on the road. But it has to do with traffic.
Inspection.
No.
Oh, traffic.
It has to do with traffic.
Okay.
Flow of traffic. Accident, you can go there, render a service of rescuing somebody from it.
Okay.
It ends there. It starts on the road and ends on the road. Your job is to assist a pedestrian. An aged woman wants to cross the road. You stop the whole vehicle for her to be able to cross. A student is crossing and the traffic light is not working in that area, or there's no traffic light. You stop the vehicle and make sure the safety of those children are guaranteed.
So how do we know, how can Nigerians differentiate between VIO and then VIO mayors? Because we just see them as one and the same thing.
Okay. The VIO mayors will not put on the white.
Okay.
Will not put on the white and black uniform you see.
Okay.
This is what you see with the VIO mayors.
Oh, okay, okay.
And our duty is to maintain law and order on the road, most especially traffic. Anywhere there is congestion, you can just see us appeared and said, you stop. And the moment we appear, we don't just jump to the road. We study what is the cause of this congestion. One, it may be that the congestion was a result of an accident.
Okay.
So what we do, we don't just start by controlling the traffic. We go and see how we removed the accident vehicle from the road.
Okay.
Then there's a flow. Because everything you do, there is flow involved in it. Even your system. If there is congestion, you see that the food you take in won't go down. And there won't be digestion. So definitely you have problem. So when there is something stopping it, and the food was meant to go down, but because something is stopping from going down, so we remove that, then the flow becomes natural. And why some is argument. See, this one said you have done this. So the moment they see you, they know that you know the right judgment. So you now said, okay, this is it, this is it. oh, okay, we've taken the picture. Okay, you come this way. You can decide to forgive Mr. A because it's not much and say let go so that other people can have free flow.
So is it your vehicle that is also the yellow and black vehicle?
Now, the yellow and black vehicle, it is the road traffic vehicle.
Okay.
Yes. Now, you need to understand that under this directorate, there are departments. It's just like in the hospital. There's an X-ray department. There is a gynecologist. There is dental. Now, those are departments in the directorate. Now, vehicle inspection is a department.
Okay.
Yes. So, road traffic officer is a department under the directorate. So, this is where people mix it up. They just say VIO is a department under the directorate.
Okay.
So now, those ones are meant to be in a station. That's why you see inspection center along this place. Now, that is where you meet the inspection officers. And they are professionals. You must be a professional in line with engineering to be able to work in that particular department.
Oh, okay. So is that why you have VIO and then VIS?
Now, those are the service. Those are all departments.
Okay.
You understand? So you go there now, they check your vehicle. It's just like somebody who read mass communication like you do. What do you want to tell us about the vehicle? You don't have business there. If you are working in the directorate now, you will be under the PRO.
Okay.
So now, this is where they usually get it wrong. The fact that they wear the same uniform does not mean that they are in the same department.
I can imagine. You just already know that once Nigerians just cite that color,
It's VIO.
all of you are the same thing. Oh, okay. So it's actually good.
Some are there, self, their duty on that road is just to control traffic. They won't even arrest you. They won't even check your papers. Because the job specification is different. Like someone like us now, we will inform you. We will educate you. We will have interaction. We will ask you, allow you to ask questions. Then it is when we have to tell you all this information and yet you still become adamant, we won't even arrest you. Then we will ask the road traffic officer to do their job. It's just like a military man now. You cannot see an officer fighting. It's against the rules. But he can order a junior rank to pick you. So, VIO, road vehicle inspection, road traffic officer, RTO, road traffic officers, then VIO mayor, the volunteer arm, like those of us here now are retired PAMSEC, medical doctor. You can also be part of it, just to contribute your quota to the society.
So if it is voluntary, is it that you're not being paid?
No.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Just service?
Service.
Okay, great.
We also make sure our money is involved to make sure that the country is better. You know, I laugh at some people who complained about the country. What is your contribution? So if you are watching right now, you can decide to come and join us. So you are contributing to the nation, no matter your profession. But at least you must possess a driver's license and a vehicle to be able to be a mayor, because we're talking about vehicle here. If you don't have any information about vehicle, you can't even stay there because you don't even know what we're talking about. So for those of you who have vehicle, who have driver's license, because before you obtain a driver's license, you must go to a driving school. So from that driving school, you've known virtually the rules of engagement in driving. So now when you come, if somebody is breaking that rules, you can easily tell the person, I also drive. This is my license. This is my car. This thing you are doing is wrong. We are asking you to stop so that you don't harm someone else.
Okay. You've said quite a lot of things, and we're going to break them down into bits and pieces. But before we go ahead, let me ask you, so since it is voluntary, but then you need funding to do a lot of things. You need to fuel your vehicle. You need to, at least, you need a lot of funds to do some things for the boys, the uniforms, and all. So who then is bankrolling the department?
Now, as it is now, within ourselves, we can decide. It's voluntary. It's charity. If you are blessed, why won't you contribute little to make your country a better place?
So how little is your little that can fill your vehicle to run all of these errands?
The truth is, my little may be somebody's very big. It depends on who I am. My little, that I call little, can be very big. But to me, it's little. All fingers are not equal. So 1 there, 2 there, 5 there. Somebody can decide to do 10, while somebody else will do 1. But whatever bit of contribution you have to the society, trust me, it is well appreciated. Even an advice that you even come without even a penny. That time is valuable, it's precious. We value it. You may not have the money and have the time. Somebody else have the money and doesn't have the time. Some people can see us now doing what we're doing. Even somebody listening now can say, wow, so these people, nobody pays them. Say, yeah. And when other people are coming, we can tell you, okay, we have registration. This is the registration. It covers your uniform. It covers your ID card. It covers this little thing. But nobody will ask you that you must bring a certain money. No, whatever you have, you contribute. Like somebody like me now. If you said I should contribute, I know what my contribution will be. And do you know why I do that? Every time I step out of this country, the moment I arrive at my destination, there is this sense of you're a stranger.
Okay.
And when I'm back home, the moment I hear in the next few minutes we'll be descending in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, there's this sense of belonging. I'm home. So I want to see how I can contribute little to making this home.
Great. All right, now let's go back to some of the duties of the VIO and then the VIO mayors that you talked about. How exactly can we know that a VIO mayor has not overstepped his boundary, especially on the road?
Now, when we have days of operation, these ones, they are specific day in a month. When you see us, that particular day, we move with road traffic officers. Because when you say road traffic officer, people don't really get it quick. But when you say VIO, everybody say yes. But road traffic officer in the department of the Directorate of Road Traffic Service. So they moved alongside with us. So because if we speak to you at that point and you refuse to listen, those are the people that will now pick you up from there. Or we can also call this, there's a vehicle on the road, a spot. The driver can't carry it on his head. He's running helter-skelter. Our duty is to assist him. So we call for our towing van and say, please come down. Which command is close here? Send the towing van. It will come pick the vehicle off, and then we'll be able to free the traffic and also educate the public and let them know that, look, we are your friends. The VIO also, which is the vehicle inspection, is your friend. The road traffic under the directorate is your friend. Because if your vehicle is not in order, you are not only endangering yourself, you are endangering others. You know, many years to come now, I want to see your beautiful face, interview me and interview others. So why would I allow someone whose vehicle is not in order to be on the road, to take away such a precious soul? Now, we didn't just lose that driver. We lose our investment, our prayer. He's a community member, and so many other benefits that he would have had to this country. So we lost a lot. So we don't want to lose. That's why you see we are a little bit stringent on the vehicle papers, the license, how you get it, and your vehicles are in order for the safety of yourself. We love you so much. We want to see you, and we love the people you are going to carry, and we love other road users. So we don't want you to harm them. So doing, we'll make sure that you are in order.
Okay, so now we'll go back to inspecting the vehicle and the criteria of getting a license and all. But now let's talk about your job, because there are a lot of people just feel that what is even the need of creating a VIO department when you already, it looks like a duplication of activities, like in places like Lagos where you already have FRSC, you have LASMA, you have traffic warden, then you have VIO. So, and then even you have the police who check some papers, who are already on the road checking. They even tell you that your particulars or something, or even talk about vehicle. So what exactly, help us understand, help us break them down into bits and pieces, and then differentiate these departments.
This is actually an information that I would give you part of it. Then subsequently, because it's not in my department, but I have the information which I can give you because it's part of us educating the public regarding what this is all about. Now, to start with, have you ever heard that police signed a driver's license? It's the responsibility of the Directorate of Road Traffic Service to issue a driver's license. That authority behind it that authenticate that this is genuine, you are certified to be on the road, is the responsibility, not even the road safety. It can't do it.
So that's your responsibility?
That is the responsibility of the Directorate of Road Traffic, under which VIO is under.
Okay.
It's different. And the mother body of this agency is police. They all pull out of police. Now, when an accident occurs, there must be a report from the Directorate of Road Traffic before that matter can go to court when life is lost. The responsibility is given to them to inspect and tell what happened. You see that the job is actually, it looks the same, but it's different.
Okay.
Now, if your paper expired, police can decide to stop you and hand you over. Now, if the car is not stolen, he can even warn you and say, see, your paper has expired. Go and renew your paper. But he will check and see that your license, that's why if you see they stopped you and they said, can I have your license? You give them. Why you give them license? They are looking at the name. Then they ask for the paper. So while you give them the paper, they check if the name corresponds with the license.
Is that part of their duty?
Yes.
Okay.
A police is to make sure that it protects lives and property. So now if your car is stolen and police check to see that, Benjamin is in the license, Gabriel Suleiman is in the paper. You now say, sorry, who owned the car? It's my brother. Okay, no problem. The policeman will just move aside. On that paper, the owner of it, his contact is there. They will put a call through. So when they put a call through, hello, how are you? Then he said, oh yeah, it's my car. Oh, it's my brother. Okay. That's it. They allow you to go. But if the person say, it's my car, I've been looking for this, they'll calmly come back and say, park, let's check. Then they will apprehend you. Your car is recovered. That's why police is your friend.
Interesting. Okay, so you've not been able to help us understand the difference between your job and FRSC, that's the Road Traffic, Federal Road Safety.
Federal Road Safety, I won't go too much on their job, but I want you to know that, one, if an accident occurs, their ambulance service responds to you quickly to carry an accident victim. And while doing that also, if they are on a routine check, they call safety. They check if you have complied with the safety measure to be on the road. Now, this road is divided into three. There is trunk A, trunk B, and trunk C. Trunk A is the federal road. Trunk B is the maybe state road, the trunk C, like in Abuja now you call it area council.
Okay.
Municipal area councils, but in state you call them local government area. Federal road safety is assigned on the trunk A. And traffic matter is a residual matter. It's something you can decide. The governor of the state or the minister is the chief road traffic officer. He can decide how the traffic service run in the state.
So are you saying that an FRSC is not supposed to be seen in a trunk B or C road?
If they are not permitted, the state can decide that I don't want you there, and they have the right. So you maintain only the trunk A, which is the federal road.
So if you see anyone on the trunk B or C road, it means the state
allows it.
Okay.
And if the state allows it, it is just to also add to the strength to make sure there is safety on the road. Okay,
so we are due for a break, but before we go on that break, I'm not still getting it. I still feel like it is one and the same thing. You have FRSC, you have LASMA.
Let me tell you something.
Road traffic wardens.
Do you know, even at this, it's not still enough.
Really?
With all these agencies, you still see accident. You still see traffic jam. That is why people like us also have to come and assist. That will not bring so much burden on the government. We take care of ourselves to make sure that this pressure is reduced and the safety of our people is guaranteed.
But yet it's not reduced even with your activities.
When every day there is an increase. Your sister maybe just gave birth yesterday. One is growing. Somebody just bought a new car. Abuja, look at the influx of people. And you can see what the minister is doing to make sure he widens the road just to make sure that there's no traffic jam. It's increasing every day. And we also are increasing every day. So we are asking the general public, please come to Mabuchi, come and join the mayors so that you can contribute.
So is it open?
It's open.
Oh, okay.
It's open. We'll just interview you, tell you the criteria, what it'll entail to be there. And you are in. And you can boldly hit your chest and say, I contributed. Apart from my daily job, I also volunteer. You know, in America, in other developed country, you see, there's a whole lot of volunteers that make sure that things are going very well. Okay,
before we go on that break now, you said, you talked about who are about licensing. Before we go talk about how to get your license. So when you get to the road, who is supposed to check your license? Constitutional duty. Who has that duty exactly to check license?
Now, the directorate has the authority to sign the license and put you on the road.
Okay.
Right? Now, that license becomes a particular also a means of identification. So if police is doing due diligence, he can ask you, because he knows that before you have that license, it's a document that is authenticated by a particular parastatal. So now, that also tell them that, oh, I can trust this means of identification. So let me see, to see if you are the one. You see, the thing looks the same, but it's not the same. The reason why he's checking is different from the reason why we will check.
Oh, okay. So there are some things that he might not be there, that he might not know, that is not there until you check.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the reason why he's checking is for identification. The reason why we will check is to be sure it's genuine. A document you did not issue. I can be arguing with you that yes, it's genuine, this, but if you come and meet me now and said, where did you? How did you? There are things you tell me, I know that is not the process. Then I said, it's wrong. Then I will now educate you. For you to get a license, this is where you start from. This is where you start from. This is where you start from. And this is the final road.
Great. Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we would open this conversation more. I'm sure you must have been educated, entertained, but there's more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, we understand this part now, but you've not answered my question yet. Okay. Is part of your training, or is it right? Okay, let's put it this way. Is it actually right for a VIO or a directorate or a VIO male to jump right in front of a vehicle on the road?
No.
Okay.
That action, you are not safe. You know, some people act inappropriate.
So what, as a road user, what am I supposed to do to that officer who act inappropriately?
You report.
Glad to have you back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you've missed quite a lot, but then you can still join in the conversation, as our guest is Dr. Yusuf Suberu. He is the National Coordinator, VIO Mayors. All right, before we went on that break, we said quite a lot of things about VIO and how you can differentiate them and understand your duties. Now, let's talk about your trainings, the kind of trainings that you get, because a lot of people would say, yes, when we see the military, we already know this person is a military by citing the person due to the kind of training they get. We also know about the police. Now, talking about your kind of training, what kind of training process do you go through? That's one on the side. Two questions, and I'd like you to answer them in one breath. So that's one on the side. And then secondly, is part of that training that where you have a lot of people complain that you have VIOs when they see a vehicle or a mishap in the road, and then they just jump right into the road and then, or jump right in the front of the vehicle and ask you to stop. Is that part of the training?
Okay, let's start by, I'm sure with the level of our conversation and the information I've let out, you should know that I got that somewhere. This is the voluntary arm of it, and yet I am disarmed with information. Then even the officers under the directorate are more even informed. They are trained. In fact, at the moment, there are some incoming mayors that have been on training for the past 6 weeks, and the training is still going on.
Okay.
Because without information, you can't function. And when you function without the basis of information, then you may be out of boundary. Now, when you hear RTO, the response will be safety and service.
Okay.
Now, the first thing they teach you, or let me say the first thing they teach us before our induction, is that your safety first. Now, take for instance, there's a gridlock on the road. The moment I get there, I don't just jump out of my car. I study. And the moment I identify the problem, I plan.
Okay.
And what are my plannings? Where do I park my own vehicle? Because I also have one. That will not become an obstruction
of traffic. Okay.
And also, where do I park it that at the end of it, I don't lose my valuable? So first, my safety first, I take it, I park it, and make sure that it does not obstruct the road, and that my mind is free. It's not that where my car is, my mind is there, and then I'm not concentrating. 50% I'm thinking about where I parked my car, 50% I'm already distracted, I can't deliver. So first, I will park my car in a safe, secured environment, and also out of the road so that it doesn't cause traffic jam. Then I will now start implementing. That implementing, after I study, then I plan, Implementation starts with how I position my own car. Then, before I now go into implementing what I've planned. By okay, I noticed it was a vehicle that spoiled, we remove that vehicle. Then you ask this one, oh, please be patient. Then he's patient. You say this one, you go this direction, you go this direction. And sometimes the traffic lights, you see, it's programmed. Like 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 3 minutes there, depending how it's programmed. Now, if as a VIO mayor, you find out that 1,000 cars are coming from A, and 3 cars are coming from maybe C, that means you are supposed to give more timing to the 1,000 cars. Because if not, by the time these 3 cars has passed and they are seeing it that it's empty, then they will apply common wisdom or common sense. And since there's no vehicle coming, and we cannot just be waiting, they start putting head. Then those ones now say, the light shows, then they will come. Then there's a jam in the B2. So nobody is going. By the time this said go now, the place is already jammed. So what you do is either you step in, while you are going in, you know that, okay, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here, you just enter the middle, then you disabuse the light.
Okay.
Now, because you are present there. So what you now do, you free these ones like about 50 cars. Then 3 of these cars will move. By the time it has reduced, you are watching the light. And when you step out now, you now follow the light signal. Then when this one say pass, then when it's passing, then you stepped out. Now you are now using the light, then you can move.
Okay, we understand this part now. But you've not answered my question yet.
Okay.
Is part of your training, or is it right? Okay, let's put it this way. Is it actually right for a VIO or a directorate or a VIO male to jump right in front of a vehicle on the road?
No.
Okay.
That action, you are not safe. You know, some people act inappropriate. No matter how you have a set of people put together, some will still do the wrong thing.
So what, as a road user, what am I supposed to do to that officer who act inappropriately?
You report.
Okay.
If you report, the provost will take it seriously and they'll punish the person because it's not right. Now, forget about the job. That action of yours, is it safe? No. The plate numbers are registered vehicles with proper address. If you try to stop a vehicle and it refuses to stop, pick the plate number. If it acts inappropriate, take the number. By the time you take it back to the office, they will enter into the system, the owner of the car, whoever is driving, and if it's not the owner driving, by the time they reach the owner and said, this is the inappropriate way you acted today, this, that, he said, I'm not the one driving. So now that offense is already registered on behalf of that vehicle.
Okay.
So when you come to renew your paper, when you come to renew your license, that gives you the permission to be on the road. By the time they check the system,
you have an offense waiting for you.
they ask you. Then they can now say, before we can reissue this driver's license, based on this offense, we are recommending valuation and training.
Okay.
So you now go there. Then they uninstall the information you have that is not correct, then install the updated version of how a human being is supposed to behave while driving.
All right, now speaking about how a human being is supposed to behave while driving. So what are the penalties that are meted on road users who offend or who breach the traffic laws? Is it something that, okay, let us settle it, okay, let's settle it on the spot, or take me to the office?
That's the reason why they don't like the directorate officers. They won't do that on the road. It's rare for you to see road traffic officers under the directorate said, okay, I bring money, no. They'll take you. That's why people, in fact, when you see those guys and your papers are not correct, you fidget because you know if they stop.
I think a lot of Nigerians always fidget immediately they see the color.
The moment, because they know you can't settle it on the road. It's not meant to be settled on the road because the reason is we want to know. When you get there, it's not like you just get there, they are shouting. They'll talk to you. We want to know, why didn't you do this? And then we'll tell you the implication of you not doing it. And then we now said, okay, this is the recommended penalty for this.
Okay.
And sometimes the recommended penalty may be they teach you what to do. It's not every time they write a file for you. So this is what some people don't know. Or they recommend and say, go for a training. The training will enhance you. It's the training you pay for. Just to make sure it makes you better, to save your life and save other people's life.
All right, so now talking about driver's license. Now I'm sure that you must have heard several complaints, maybe from either the directorate or from your officers, I don't know, that they're collecting money for renewal of licenses, vehicle papers, or issuing vehicle licenses, but yet they absconded or they were not able to do it and then they just absconded. I'm sure you must have seen or heard that kind of report. So at least how are you able to deal with such cases or penalize such offenders so as not to disrupt your organization?
Now, one, we should know that that's a criminal offense, false pretense. If you report, we will investigate. And if you go beyond what to, then the office will take that particular officer and hand him over to the police to prosecute him. So the problem is that Nigerians will not come and complain. Write a letter, submit it in the office. You already have a proof of your report.
Okay.
Because when you submit a letter, you have an acknowledgement copy. So when nothing is done, you go back and say, I brought this complaint and nothing has been done. Then they pick it up. If somebody now did not do the right thing, the officer you met that did not do the right thing won't be on duty the next time you go. So the one you meet will definitely do the right thing. And when the one that did not do the right thing, he would also be summoned. Why was this report here and you did not do anything about it? There's the consequences.
Great. I'm sure Nigerians are happy to hear this one. All right. So what are the outline of, because now part of your duty is to educate road users or give, sensitize them through trainings and all of that. So how much have your organization been able to put up such training to educate Nigerians on how to be in the best practices with regards to traffic?
Do you know one of the assignment is me sitting down here right now?
Aside this one, which other one have you guys been able to?
Definitely, we do flyers, we do radio. I've granted several interviews, and also we go around the parks, and we are planning something right now for ministries, because we are not asking them to pay. Avail your drivers for us. Let's inform and educate them. So we're doing what we can at the moment, and we're asking every patriotic Nigerians, to come join us. So by the time we'll train you, you can go and train others, and from there, the network will go wider. So we are doing the best we can, and we are still making sure that we're adding more every day. Like take for instance, I have a lot pile up for me, but because this has to do with educating the public, I have to squeeze out my time, ask one or two other things to stand down, and I'm coming to do this, because I know through this avenue, a lot of people will hear, see, and these videos are also still available online that they can also still go over and over again.
All right, now let's talk about road wardiness or road vehicle wardiness, or how I'm trying to understand.
Okay, now that is not my office, but
okay.
I would just give you frames. So whatever I say is not the final opinion. Now, that road wardiness, it is a certificate you get after they've checked that your car is in order to apply the road.
Okay.
So that's why you take your car. Even when you come to renew your vehicle, that is still there. And they will, it's part of it. They'll say, go check your vehicle. Now, it is when you check everything is fine, then an officer will sign it and said, yes, this car has been checked, is okay. Because most of the accidents are mechanical. Take, for instance, you didn't check your brakes, and suddenly you are driving and you applied it, it didn't work. Two things. Where do I turn to? There are human beings this side. There's an expensive car here. If I hit this expensive car, this is a Maybach. My salary in the next 30 years will not buy it. Then you may crash into a lesser decision you take. And that lesser decision may be the most expensive decision. It may be human being. So that's why checking. In fact, people should be happy that you take your vehicle for them to check for you. It's good for your own knowledge.
So that's the office of the directorate.
It's
in charge.
It's under the office of the directorate to
Okay.
inspect your vehicle. Now, those are the VIO that people are talking about. It is actually a department. Those ones are not the ones on the road.
Oh, okay.
The vehicle inspection officers are stationed. They have their center where you bring your vehicle to them to inspect, and then they signed and said it's okay. And if something is wrong, they tell you, go and fix this, go and fix this. This one is wrong. So if I am you, why won't I take the advantage to know the status of my vehicle?
So as a patriotic Nigerian, I'm supposed to take my vehicle to
Yes.
them. Do you pay any sum? Or?
Yes, when you registered your vehicle, it's inclusive.
Okay.
So the moment you registered your vehicle, you've already paid the fee. So why not take advantage to check your own vehicle again? It's just like checking your system. You go, you have an insurance now, a health insurance. Then you fold your hand and you don't even go to the hospital. Your insurance is just wasting. So go there, they check. You can even be confident to go to your mechanic and say, I'm coming from inspection center. They said this one is, if your mechanic wants to tell you now that so thing is bad, okay, like one of my experience, there was a time my car was not good. It was maybe mixing. So I took it to my mechanic. I said, please check for me, because I have information about vehicle. And I said, check for me. And the guy said, Oga, your brain box has spoiled. I said, brain box? And when we talk about brain box, you're talking about 150, 200, 300, depending on the type that is there. I said, no, it's not brake box. Do you have a screwdriver and a plier? He said, yes. And I folded my arm, and I picked my fuel filter, and I loosed it, and I washed it, and I put it back, and the thing is working fine. I said, okay, you didn't tell us you are a mechanic. Where person they chop, where person they work, now they chop. I said, with this magnitude, 250. So when you go to this, you gain experience. Your mechanic don't swindle you over. Very important.
All right. So, and how do you now treat your officers? Because now you are actually like one out of a lot of cases that actually knows about vehicles. A lot of people don't know about their vehicle. They just dump it in the hands of these mechanics who will swindle them. So now for you, it's a different kettle of fish. But then you said we are supposed to take our vehicles for checking for road.
Yeah, when you renew your vehicle, they will tell you have the document there unsigned.
Okay.
So you now take your vehicle to the inspection center. When they are true and it's okay, they sign that document for you. The inspection officer now signed and said, because where he signed, his signature is there. So he's the one that authenticates that your car is good to apply the road. So if anything now happened on the contrary, now said, but it was checked.
Okay, so
it was signed.
Aside your kind of vehicle, which other kind of vehicle is supposed to obtain this road worthiness certificate? Just private or commercial vehicles too?
Both the commercial vehicle and private vehicle is vehicle.
Oh, okay. Even the taxi.
Yes, because in fact, those ones are even, in fact, they're supposed to be running there. Do you know why? Because their duty, they are conveying humans every day. So anything that happens to them does not only happen to their vehicle, and then it happens to a whole lot of breadwinners in the car.
All right then, so we're trying to manage our time now because you've said quite a lot of things with regards to your training. Now we actually noticed or understand that a lot of officers of your kind of officers, is either the VIO or the mayors, they always have this heated arguments with especially commercial drivers. So is it that part of the training was it inculcated on how you talk to people? Because when things like this happen, the next thing you just hear people shouting around.
Yes, you see, emotional intelligence is one of the training these people obtain, and also communication, language barrier. Now, most of these drivers may not understand English, so they will rather turn it into fight to attract sympathy.
Really? Okay.
Because if I understand what you're saying, why am I shouting? So they don't understand. And let me just make you laugh here. There is this time, I grew up in this city. There is this time, I don't know the decision of my parents, what they decide. And they took us to Ondo, to school. Then in that school, it was in a remote village. They mixed both English and Yoruba. Then one of the guys said to me, "Hey you, come here, kneel down there." I said, "What for?" He said, "Okay, worry, kneel down there." I said, "No." Then eventually they took us, he was my senior. They took us to the principal office, and he said, I was telling him to kneel down. He didn't. Then the principal looked at me and said, "Hello, what happened?" And I said, "Good afternoon, sir. I was moving. I don't know what I did. He said, "Hello, you, kneel down there." And I said, "Why?" And then he started shouting. He couldn't communicate any longer. So, because if he has explained to me why, maybe I would have complied. But he didn't explain to me. Then he started shouting. Then the principal said, "You see, your lack of not understanding English, you felt it was rude to you. Now these guys, they know they've committed an offense. If they are quiet, they would definitely, so they turn it into something else. They start shouting, they start making trouble, because they had nothing to lose."
But now you're putting it on the commercial driver. Sometimes it could be your officers who are at fault.
Why would they be at fault? I want to ask you a simple question. Hello? Can I see your driver's license? Can I see your papers? Where is my pen? It is when you now tell them, this thing is not okay. 4 is okay. It's only 1 that is not okay. 3 is okay. It's just this one, this common one. Maybe the wiper is not working fine. You see, this common one, if it starts raining, you can't see. That can cost a lot of damage. But they see it as common. But we don't see it as common because it can result to an accident.
So in such cases, you book the person?
So now, in such cases, what you do, there is what we call first, second, third offender.
Okay.
You can warn the person and take his details down and said, you know you are applying this road, I know you. Tomorrow, if you don't fix this thing, if I see you, I'll arrest you. Now, they will go. Tomorrow, the same person that you talk to will come with the same thing. The third one now, they now said, okay, at this point, you need training. Because it's because you are not informed. You don't know the danger of what that little thing you see as little could cause.
Okay.
So, they book you. The first thing first is not just to collect money from you and leave you. They're taking you to educate you. Sometimes some people don't know.
All right.
So by the time they educate you, then you also will now know. You now know how important it is. Do you know that if you take somebody through an emergency accident ward, do you know, just take the person around and just tell the person, this man, this thing there, and this is what happened to him. His hand has been cut. You show him another. You show him the other. See, if you continue like this, you know, that man will come a changed person. That is education.
All right, finally on this note, we would like to take one social media message that we got. This one says, I love this topic of discussion. I've been anxiously waiting for it. Sir, do you have a standard training program for your staff to educate them and bring them to speed on the laws and the rights of an average road user? Because the truth is that most of VIO officers are ignorant of the laws that they're supposed to protect. Okay, so we'd like to get your closing remark on this one.
You see, training, you train and retrain and retrain. It's a constant thing. You update. Even your system. You have this one 5 years ago, you update. We do that regularly because they receive promotion. So while they are being promoted, you will definitely go through a class. Then after the class, you get promoted. Now, in the process of going through that class before promotion is a training.
All right then, let's get your last word to Nigerian road users.
When I want to tell Nigerian road users, we are your friends. We are there to serve you. We are there to serve you. We are there to make sure life is comfortable and road is comfortable enough for you to use. So please and please, when you see us, take note. They will ask you questions that you will just give them the papers and you have no problem with them. Just make sure these documents are in order. And then, while you are in the traffic, please be patient. Overspeeding kills. The UN Decade of Action 2020 to 2030 said we should try and reduce road accident by 50%. And one of the targeted area is speed limit. That place you are running to, that you are overspeeding, if an accident occurs, you may never get there. And you know, a loss of one road user affects the GDP. Because anybody that has risen to a point that he has a car is an asset to the country. He's an asset to the society. So we don't want to lose you. Put your car in order. We always want to be happy that your car is in order, you are fine. If you are not there, who will come and renew paper? Who will enjoy this luxurious vehicle? So we want you to be there. You keep renewing your papers. We keep servicing it, and you produce. Do you know what you are doing? Your mechanic is eating from you. Our fuel was selling to you. The ones selling engine oil and other parts, they are sustaining their business because you are there. So we need you even more than you need us.
All right.
So please stay safe, and you can become a mayor today. Just come to Mabuchi and you can reach out to me. Thank you.
All right, what a fine place to anchor this program. Before you go, you said something about speed limit. What is the exact speed limit for every vehicle?
Now, you see, when you see 30 kilometers per hour, anywhere you see that there are like schools, you reduce it to 30. So whatever comes your way, you can easily apply your brake and it stops. It depends. Look at the signs on the road. It will tell you.
Okay.
Yes, while you are on the road, you see it. Some you see 30, you see 40, you see it. And save yourself. Go, see, slowly is the fastest way.
All right. Thank you so much for your time with us, Dr. Yusuf Suberu, National Coordinator, VIO Males. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
Thank you so much. And I'm also the FCT Squadron Leader.
Okay, so that you already know that one. All right, viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sure you must have been rightly educated, informed, and entertained. We have been talking to Dr. Yusuf Suberu. He is the National Coordinator of VIO Males, and you said FCT Squadron Leader. Great. All right, I'll see you next time. Keep watching the conversation because you never know who my next guest will be. Until next time, from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabelle Oji. God bless Nigeria.